The Widow of Withering Moor. 1. The Crying Wind. The villagers of Brackenby never wandered far into the Withering Moor. Not because of wolves or cold or the mud that sucked at boots, but because of the wind, a ceaseless wail that seemed too human, too sorrowful to be natural. They said it was the voice of Eleanor Harrow, the widow who once lived at Moorstead Grange, the lone estate at the moor's heart. She'd vanished one autumn evening. Her house left to rot. Her story left untold. Until Margaret Finch arrived. 2. The Inheritance. Margaret, a young schoolteacher from Leeds, had inherited Moorstead Grange from a great-aunt she'd never met. She came to escape the noise of the city, and a broken engagement she never spoke of. The villagers warned her. "The house don't want you," the butcher's wife whispered. But Margaret was no fool. She had logic, letters of inheritance, and a firm umbrella. She moved in by moonlight. The crying wind greeted her. 3. The Locked Room. The house was beautiful in a decaying way, wide windows, mahogany staircases, dust-choked chandeliers. But one door, on the 3rd floor, was locked from the inside. Margaret asked the solicitor. He only said, "It's better left that way." She found the key anyway. And waited. 4. Eleanor's diary. The room held a single iron-framed bed, a cracked mirror, and a writing desk with one drawer locked tight. Inside, Margaret discovered a diary, its pages water-damaged and scrawled in a trembling hand. Eleanor Harrow had once been a poetess. The wife of Victor Harrow, a merchant who left her for months at a time. But she didn't go mad until their child died. A fever, the diary said. Or something worse. She whispered to me even after her breath had stopped. She told me the wind would carry her voice. And mine too if I let it. 5. The portrait changes. Margaret found a portrait of Eleanor in the study, young with raven hair and a silk dress. The next morning the face was different. The eyes had turned. The mouth curled downward. A weeping expression. And behind her in the painting, a pale child had appeared. 6. The Night of Knocking. At midnight someone knocked on the front door. 3 times. Margaret opened it to no one, only wind and bracken and the sound of a girl giggling in the dark. That same night, the locked room slammed shut again. Trapped inside, Margaret saw a face pressed to the window, on the 3rd floor. A child's face, expressionless. She woke the next morning outside, barefoot, her dress torn, her hair braided in a style she did not know. 7. The Truth in the Well. Determined to end it, Margaret returned to Eleanor's diary and followed its final entries to a stone well behind the house. She lowered a lantern. At the bottom, a child's bones wrapped in lace. And beneath them, a locket. Inside, 2 portraits. One was Eleanor. The other was Margaret. Blood in the name. Margaret wasn't just a distant relative. She was Eleanor's granddaughter, the secret child of Eleanor's daughter, who had vanished after a nervous breakdown. The moor had drawn the family back. Blood remembers, the wind whispered, and blood must return. 9. The Widow Rises. That night Eleanor came. She walked through the locked door like mist. Her dress flowed like fog. Her face was exactly Margaret's, only older. She held out her hand and said, "Come. We have work to finish." The child followed her. And Margaret, half in dream, half in memory, followed too. 10. A New Voice in the Wind. Moorstead Grange is empty now. The villagers say the house lights flicker in storm and fog. Sometimes 2 women walk the moor's edge, hand in hand. One older, one younger. One weeping. One laughing. And the wind? It still cries. But now there's a second voice in it, calling your name.